Hey, it's Andrew Brown, and we are back continuing on learning about things that we can do with LLMs or generative AI, specifically to voice. In the last video, you saw we used WhisperX, and I have this synthetically generated voice from Microsoft Azure AI, and so I used it to generate a transcription using WhisperX. We found out that OpenWhisper doesn't do word by word. We used WhisperX to find out that it is character by character, and then we had to roll up that into the final solution. I was just talking to another developer that was asking about, okay, well, this is great and all, but imagine that you actually you are a language school and you want to have this word by word functionality in your application. How would it work if you already had your transcriptions? Like you already have your perfect transcriptions, because sometimes these tools that transcribe are not accurate, right? They will produce good enough results, but if you've already done the hard work and done that, how can you map back that information? And so I want to explore and see if there is a way to actually do that. And the process that I'm thinking, if we go into, on the left-hand side here, we have ASR task. But if we go into our WhisperX file here, I'm just taking a look here. It outputted the original file here, which has all the word-by-word breakdown. So here's the sentence that it transcribed. And this one has words. This is our roll-up one, I think, actually. This is our roll-up one. The original one was this one, right? So this is what the WhisperX produced, each single character. And so I'm thinking that if it gets the characters generally right and you have the transcription, an LLM should be able to roll them up, because I was able to take this one with an LLM using Claude and say, hey, go fix this, right? And so I can't see why it would not be able to do that for something larger. If you had the transcription, even if the characters were different, I feel like you could tell it to cross-reference it, right? So what I want to do is I want to find a video source that we can use that I know has accurate transcriptions. So I'm going to go out to the internet. Just give me a moment here. I already have our dev tools open here from before, but let me go and open up. You know what? I've been really liking this resource. I've been using something called Comprehensible Japanese, and I believe they have a YouTube, and I believe that their stuff is accurate. Anyone who wants to learn Japanese or a language in general, I really like this teaching style where they teach through story immersion, so you can literally watch it along and it's very clear. But I believe they have a YouTube, so let's go down here below to here. And I'm just looking for their YouTube here. Here it is. Okay.
皆さん
And so if we go over to videos here, we have a lot of videos. And so I imagine that something that is newer is going to have more accurate transcription. So what I'm looking for is a video, because some of these videos have comics in them. I think that's fine. I kind of want one that's simpler to work through, because then I'll be able to check it myself. I really like these game ones. These game ones are fun. But I'm seeing, are there any whiteboarding ones? I feel like all the whiteboarding ones are behind us. So I'm actually going to go up to here. Maybe we'll just take the latest video, which is 1 day. So learn Japanese with a comic father and son. So I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, there's a lot of learn Japanese resources. But I'm going to go ahead, right? And I'm just going to preview this for a second and tell you if I think this is a good source that we can use. Yeah, it sounds really, really good. So I think what I will do is I will use this source here. And I believe that it already has transcripts. So if we go over to here, where is it here? And we go to our, here we have Japanese, English, and Japanese. So we go here and you can see that they have the source ones. So I know that they've imported these ones because you have auto-generated, which we don't want, but we want the Japanese, the original transcription. And so the transcription, we go down here, is right here. We go here and here's the entire transcription. Now there is that tool that Duan showed us that can pull the transcription in one go. So we can utilize that, and maybe I will do that to pull the transcription. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new folder. I wanna just test this business use case, and we'll call this one Comprehensible Japanese. What's the initialism? CIJ, okay. And I'm gonna make a new README file here just so we can make a context here. I'm gonna bring in this video in particular. And so we'll say CIJ, and let's talk about the business use case. So what is the business use case we want? So given there is a language learning portal has videos. They have videos that provide the transcription. When a user watches the video on the learning portal, the user would like to see the words highlighted as the video is playing. So that is the use case that we're trying to do. The other thing is like considerations. So the considerations is the school has already provided accurate transcriptions. So if we use a transcription service, e.g. OpenWhisper, to produce transcriptions, we would need to compare the transcriptions with the provided transcriptions or replace them with the accurate one, and leaving us with the word-by-word time codes, right? And actually it's WhisperX that we're going to use because we know this. So here's the source video that I want to use. So the thing is we need to pull the transcripts. And there is a tool out there that Duan showed us. I'm trying to remember what week we did it in. And we definitely used it. Give me a second to think about it. You know what? I really can't remember. And we could ask Windsurf, but I'm going to tell you right now that I actually ran out. First time I've actually ran out of usage, which is really interesting because I've never ran out of Windsurf before. But I'm going to go over to Claude, as I do pay for Claude and ChatGPT and everything. I'm just going to ask it like, can you give me a Python library that runs in the terminal, which will pull transcripts from a target YouTube page. And I got to go set myself as away because I'm getting dinged here. Coming back over to here, you can see it's writing a bunch of stuff. This is what Duan was using. So he was using YouTube Transcript API. I thought that it was easier than that. Like we could just, let's go click here. Yeah, so this is the easiest usage that we can utilize it. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go add it to our README here. So we'll say pull transcriptions. Now, the transcript, like if you are in the platform for CIJ, you can actually download the transcriptions there. There's no cost to it. And obviously the transcriptions are available on YouTube. I'm focusing on videos that are on YouTube because they have private videos and public videos. I don't want to try to touch any of their private videos because, of course, I want them to make money. Just like I make free content for tech education, I want folks that do the same are also going to be able to do well here. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to go and do our pip install here. And then here we want to pull the video. So this is my source video that I want to pull. Okay. So we'll pull transcriptions. We could have probably used that other tool that I use, but I didn't, which is fine. And we'll pull the audio. This way we'll use not FFmpeg. We're going to utilize, was it YL? Yeah, there it is, YLD, whatever. And this will dump it as a wave. We want it as a wave because wave is the format that we found out worked really well. We might also want to be very specific in terms of the audio format we want, because when you are using ASR, it has to be wave, and you want it to be a high quality wave. Even if it wasn't originally that, we want to convert that over. So, if the folks, the developer over at CIJ is watching, you want to utilize the highest audio source quality you have, and specifically in WAV, so that you get accurate results. If you try to do transcriptions with an MP3 or something with a lower whatever you call it, you're not going to get as good as results. But if you have your original transcriptions, it's not going to really matter as much because it's going to overdo that. This one brought in, I didn't ask for it to do that, but it brought it in anyway. And so here we have the transcriptions that it should pull, and this one here. I'm going to look up exactly the format of the thing that we want. I remember I saved it somewhere here. Oh, maybe it's the same. No, this one. Yeah, it's over here. So what we want, is this. So 2400 here. Can we, I have to specify, like, make it 2400. 2400. I'm not sure what it's called. I'm going to go, because my original source file, which is called JP sample, this one here is the right format of what I want. And I just want to know exactly what it is that I need. I had so much trouble people didn't see, but I had so much trouble figuring out what the correct audio format to get good results were. And now that I have it, I just try to go back to this as much as I can and stick to that implementation. By the way, I'm going to make my head a little bit smaller. I realize I'm in the way here. So I'll go make myself nice and small as per usual. And we're going to go into, I'm just doing this off screen here, but we're going to go into FreeGenAI, ASR, whatever. And then now that I'm in this folder, I want to open up my JP sample, wherever this is. Here it is. We'll right click it, show more options, properties, and it is in details. So what am I looking for? This is a 7068 kilobits. It's this information here, right? So I want to extract that out. Can I just copy paste it out? That'd be a lot easier for me. I can do that. Can we do that? Nope. So I have to write it out. So what's the bit rate we want? So we want bit rate to be 768 kilobits. We want the audio sample rate to be 24,000 KHZ. We want the audio sample size to be 32 bits. And then we also want the audio, I'll say channels 1 mono. Okay, I don't know if it matters if it's stereo, but let's just make it really simple. So now that I have this, I'm going to copy this over here, and I'm going to go back to Claude. I normally would use Windsurf, but I'm out of Windsurf, surprisingly. And I don't trust the interior chat there. Sometimes it messes up. So can you, I need these audio settings. Can this be specified in the, I don't know, what is YouTube DL? That's not right. It's called YLDT. There it is, YLDTP. So to download the audio as wave from YouTube and convert it using this tool. I'm not sure why I did YouTube DL. I mean, that might be another tool, but I don't know what it is. Now, let's see if it can do it. I mean, it's probably using FFmpeg underneath. So if you don't have FFmpeg, this thing might not work. FFmpeg is really easy to install. Sudo install FFmpeg. But we'll go over to here. Okay. And so now, yeah, we can see we'll put that in there. And so this, I'd rather keep it the same, I suppose, the same name of the file. That makes it a little bit easier. I guess we just hard code it. Let's go over here, hard code that name. I'm just gonna click through to this. What's this video called? This is Learn Japanese Father and Son via Comic. So I'll just say Comic Learn. Comic Learn. There we go. And so that's gonna get us that there. I do believe this one is correct, so this is less of an issue. Yeah, Comic Learn JSON. If we can do that, that'd be really nice. I'm not sure if it comes out as JSON. I don't really want it as JSON. I just want it as a text, but if it works, I guess. And I don't think that's right. That's not how we use it. Let's go back over to wherever we were just a moment ago. So I believe Claude had an example for us. Really, I feel like there is a way to use this from the CLI. Maybe I could just use it to pull transcripts. Because if I can just use one tool, my life's going to be a lot easier. Sorry, Duan. Okay, now what if I wanted to pull transcripts? Could I use the same CLI tool? I think I can. Okay, skip download, give us a sub. We have different formats. I just want text. Can it just do raw text? There we go. Okay, so that's what I want. We'll go back over to here. I'm going to pull the transcripts with this. I'll let it replace that, which is really nice. And then hopefully that just works, right? So you need to have while dt dp. I think it's just a pip install. So, right, this would be, pip install yt dlp. I'm pretty sure I already have it installed. If I don't, we'll run it again because I'm always changing my, oh yeah, I'm in the ASR environment, so it probably isn't installed. We'll go ahead and do that. I already have ffmpeg installed on my machine, but that would be a sudo snap ffmpeg or sudo app get install, whatever you're using, you can look up. That's pretty easy. So now that we have this, I want to see if we can download this. I'm going to go into the CIJ folder. I just want this to output into the current directory so things are a little bit easier. I'm going to go ahead and try this first, see if it actually dumps it. So here it says this, so it seems like Claude lied to me. I don't care, but... I don't want VTT format. I guess I could do sub format, I suppose. We could also just look up the tool. YLDT. GitHub here. And we'll go here, we'll take a look and see what we can actually pull. So I know somewhere there's transcripts. Transcripts, subtitles, subtitle options here. Write subs, list subs, sub format. Accepts preference. Okay, so it seems like we're gonna have to do SRT to download. We obviously want Japanese. So since I don't trust that, convert subs. Okay, we have write automatically generated subtitle file. Okay, do not write auto-generated subtitle file. Okay, that's fine. Write automatically generated subtitle file. That's right. List subs, sub format. There's no option that says like convert subs. So we'll just go here. See, it's making things up. So it's format, and we're going to say SRT. So we have that, and it did have another line where we could format it out. We'll go ahead and we'll try to run this here. See if this works. Seems like it is downloading them. Good. Let's go take a look here. The only thing is we didn't specify which language. So just because it's there doesn't mean it's going to pull the correct one. We'll give us a nice refresh here. We have it, and it's in English. So that's not what I want. I want it in Japanese. And there's Japanese, there's variants. There's Japanese with auto-generated and not. So we should really list the subs first before we do anything else, because if we don't, we might end up something with what we don't want. So we'll go here and say YT DLP list subs, and we're going to put this in here, and we'll get a list of what subtitles we actually have before we go ahead and do anything else, right? So we'll go ahead, whoops, and yeah, it should do this like that. And we'll try this here, and we'll see if it actually lists them out. And now we can see what formats we have. Right, so we have a bunch, but I want Japanese original. So see, it says Japanese original. That's actually what I want. So we'll go over to here, and we will specify that there. So the flag here is sub langs this. See, they're showing me here. It's this, right? Sub langs, whatever. Apparently, we can download more than just the Japanese, but I just want the Japanese original here so that we know for certain what it is that we have here. So we have this sample format, we're over here, right? So we've updated this, and so now we can grab the original. I'm gonna go delete this one out. This one's completely useless to me. And we'll go ahead and we'll type in clear here, and we'll hit enter. You need a password. Why do we need a password? Type an account password and press enter. So I'll just try that again, 1 second here. So can we not download it because it's password protected? That'd be really interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure why it would ask us for password. Enter password and press enter. Fixed output name, but more than one file to download. Why would it ask for password? That's the first time I've ever seen that. So maybe there's an issue. So we got here maybe like can't pull original Japanese audio without a password. Why? I don't know. Oh, hold on. This says write auto subs. Here it says write automatically generate subtitle files. Do not write. I actually don't want auto. No write subs. Do not write subtitle file. No, that seems fine. Do not write auto sub file. So what if I go ahead and try to take this one out here just before we continue on here? It's not a big deal. We can still pull it another way, but I was hoping that I could automate that. I just want them in the raw format. I can get them from the site, but I'm just going to show this way. Yeah, it's asking me for a password, so that's fine. So can't pull without a password. Why I'm prompted, I don't know. What password it could be, I don't know. So that's fine. It almost feels like it's trying to like write it to as opposed to download it. So I'm not really sure because I've never used the subtitles for this. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. But well, we did download the other one, so I can't say that it didn't actually do that. But that's not going to cause us any problems for this specific test, right? So we'll go over to here. If we want to automate it, that might be a problem, but it's not a problem because I'm not trying to automate it en masse right now. I'm just trying to test whether my theory of using LLMs will work. So I'm going to go back over to transcripts. So here we go more, and we go to show transcripts. And so this is Japanese. Yes, so this is the one I want. So we can go, this is one way of doing it. We can go all the way down here and grab all the subtitles. So that is one way that we can grab it. I'm going to go back over here. We'll call this, what did we call the file that we wanted to call? Comic Learn. So we'll call comic learn.txt. We'll go ahead and we'll paste in the content here. And so now we have our subtitle file. I want to strip out all the numbers here. So we can do that whoops. This shouldn't be too hard to do. We'll just do a mass search and replace. I don't like doing mass search replace in VS Code. I really don't like VS Code. We're in Windsurf actually, but we will do it anyway because I gotta not complain. So here I want to get rid of all those numbers. So it's very clear where those numbers occur. So we have $, whoops. Maybe it starts with a hat. Where's the little house? Little hat, it's here. And oh, we gotta turn on regular expressions. Let's do that. And we're gonna say D plus colon D / D plus. And I'll do $sign to get the end here. And I also want to get rid of the new line. That way it will bring them up to the next one and I don't have to do anything. So we want to replace that with nothing. Replace all. And there we go. Our subtitle file is nice and clean here. Okay, so now we have it. I don't want it to change any of those times. And so we have a source of truth subtitle. So this is the transcription. So this is original. We'll call it original OG comic learn, just so we don't get confused. Now I need to go pull the video. So I know this one will work without a problem here. So we have this. Did we want 2400? Why does it say 3400? That must have been a typo. Let me go double check the audio to make sure that I didn't make a mistake there. It's very likely that I did make a mistake. So we'll go back and check this again. We'll say properties. This one is 24 hertz or whatever we call that whatever kilohertz or whatever. So it's actually 24. That's easy to fix. We'll just switch that out there. All the other settings, I want them to be that. So we'll go ahead and we'll run that there. That's going to download it. Don't need a password for that. And it's now going to download just the audio for us. So now we have just the audio. Okay, I'm going to listen to it.
皆さん、こんにちは。今日は
Okay, so we do have a little bit of an intro there.
また次回
Okay, so, I don't want those sound effects, but I don't think it's going to be an issue because I think that the transcriber should be able to figure it out. The other part is we can't just cut out the audio there. We'd have to deaden it, but we can't get rid of it because we can't change the length of the audio because then the time codes won't match the original video. So I could open this up in Adobe Audition and clear those out, but we'll find out if it's even a problem. So that'll be our first step to find out. But anyway, we have our two files here. Now we want to run this through Whisper, right? So here we have it, and we already learned this before. Pip install WhisperX model. If you're having issues with your machine, watch the previous videos. where you see me working through my machine. I have a 4060 RTX. I'm sure I could do this with a less powerful machine. If I had to do this in production, maybe run pod.io. There's lots of cloud services that have GPUs, but it doesn't need a powerful GPU in order to utilize this. If you have no GPUs, what you could do is you could use Lightning AI. I'm not sure why I haven't used Lightning AI in this bootcamp whatsoever. If you go to Lightning AI, they have free compute or free GPUs, and we could have ran that in here, which I'm not. I'm using my local machine. So I want to tell people, if you don't have the compute, you don't have a new graphics card, go use Lightning AI. It's really easy to do that, but you need the GPUs in order to do this. So anyway, this should launch up WhisperX. Remember, like, this is using the large model. So the large model is about 7 gigabytes. So you need at least 5 gigabytes to download this model. You need to have enough memory there in order to run it. But I'm going to open up my task manager. Okay, so here it is. I'm recording right now, so you can see I have 64 gigabytes of memory, but I'm at half here. But even if I have to use the 7 or 5, what loads it into here, it's not using the GPU memory. I believe it's using this one, but if it is, we do have dedicated GPU memory here as well. But my graphics card is being utilized because I'm recording right now. And so this would perform much faster and better if I wasn't recording, but it still will work totally fine. So this is going to dump out the transcription. It doesn't say where, but it's going to dump it out. So we'll go ahead. Yeah, it doesn't say where, but we'll go ahead and run this. And so I've already ran this before, but I had to wait like 20 minutes, 15 minutes to download this model. But once I had it, it was less of an issue. So this model should already be, obviously you have to have Docker installed to do this. But we will give this a go. It's complaining about that libq8, but at least we don't have to deal with it, right? These errors don't matter, right? I was getting these even locally, but if the Docker container is getting it and it still works, then who cares? So we are waiting here. By the way, look at our dedicated. So it is using the dedicated GPU memory. And then when it runs out, then it starts using this memory over here. That's really interesting. Not a lot of it, but some of it. You can see we have that GPU spike here, and it's finished. And we have this errors. It says aborted core dump. I don't know if that means it didn't work or not. So did it work? Did it not work? Was the file too large? We've never ran a file this large. How large is this file? This is, 5 minutes? It is a... how large is this file? We got a frickin' ad. You know what? Everyone's like, Andrew, why don't you get the ad blocker? I don't know. I really should. I'm so tired of these ads. We'll go here. And this video is 7 minutes. So when you are working with Whisper, I don't think it likes large audio files, right? So we might need to chunk this into multiple files. So what I'm going to do, it's not hard, but we'll say chunk audio into 30-second chunks. There we go. That's what we'll do. And yeah, we'll use FFmpeg for that, and so that can do it. Normally you make a placeholder file, place them in a folder called chunks, I guess. Right? I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder here called chunks. And actually I'm going to make a new folder here called output. And I'm going to grab everything in here. I don't want to, because this is not my resources, so I'm going to just go here and do .git ignore. So if you want to do this, you're going to have to actually run the stuff here, but I'm going to say none of this and none of that. None of this and none of that. So when I commit it later on, I don't have to worry about it. We'll go back over to here, called output chunks. Okay, let's see if it changes it for me. Thank you. And so it should chunk out the audio into 30-second segments. The shorter the segments, the better it's going to do. I'm not sure how we could load up WhisperX with a series of files. There's probably, I'd probably have to open it up and take a look, but it'd be nice if I could. We could just run one after another. But the nice thing, though, is that if we wanted to do parallelization, we could actually run multiple containers on this machine. But if we had multiple GPUs and we spun them up all in the cloud, then we could get this transcription done extremely quickly at the same cost. It wouldn't cost us any more, I don't think. We'll go ahead and we will chunk up our stuff here. We'll see if it actually works. It says this here. So it says error opening file comic wave. Oh, because we moved where it is. That's why. So this is now actually in output here like this. And we'll try this again. I don't think it produced anything. Okay. And we'll type in clear, and we'll try this again. And so, well, we have one, and we have an error. So it says output files function not implemented. So I don't think it, Opus not supported in wave format. So let's go over and ask Claude. The autocomplete sure didn't do a very good job here. But I'm going to go here and just provide it the information here, and hopefully it will just provide me the fix. I don't want to read the FFmpeg docs. I do know FFmpeg pretty well, so it's not an issue for me. The related issue is FFmpeg is depicting an Opus codec, which isn't supported in wave format. There suggests the input file might not be a standard wave file, but an Opus encoding inside of a wave container, which isn't standard. Oh. Well, here's a question. I want to ask something like, did YLDTP use Opus encoding? Audio? That could explain why it didn't work. When you request best audio without specifying a particular format, when you use best audio, we'll download the highest quality audio stream, which is the Opus encoding. To sure get a proper wave, which with the specifications, you should explicitly convert audio during the download rather than simply relying on the container chunk. So here, try the modified approach. I don't see what's different. Let's go over here and take a look. Oh, it says best audio right there. So I'm just trying to see what the difference is here. So we have here audio quality 0. Why would we want to do that? When you use okay, so it's saying that this is what I need to do is change it. Well, we do have this. The only thing we don't have is audio quality. I don't think that's in here. So go back over to here and let's take a look. That sounds really bizarre to set it to audio quality 0. But that's what it's saying. So we'll go ahead and we'll put that flag in here. And I'm going to try this again. We'll run this here and we'll download the file again. So now when I'm curious, does it say what format it uses? No, it's not really saying it, but we'll go over to here for a second. I want to go back to my folder here, and let's take a look at the actual audio file here, wherever that is. So in here, we have this one here. Let's go show it. I'm not sure if it shows the encoding here. We can probably get it with FFmpeg. And why doesn't it show any of that information? Interesting. Maybe because that's metadata and it doesn't write the metadata onto it. That's probably why. Yeah, we can't even see it for either of them. Well, that's silly that it doesn't do that, but I mean, that's fine, but we'll go ahead and I'm going to move this back to output. Yeah, I want to replace it. And even though our audio file is too large, I'm still going to try to run it anyway. I don't care if it errors out. I just want to see, yeah, we'll update that, if changing the audio file might fix it. But to get accurate results, we really shouldn't feed it a large audio file. And we really should chunk it into 30, which we already have up here, right? So we're going to run this again. We'll go back over and look at our task manager here. We can see that it's using GPUs. It's going, which is fine. It's using the memory. And again, half my GPU is going to screen sharing right now. So if I needed more memory, I could do that. I could kill the stream here. And yeah, aborted. So again, I think the audio clips are too large. We'll go back and we'll temp the chunking. We'll delete this one. This one's junk. And I will go back over to here and I will try this again. I'm really stuffed up. I just can't wait till my winter cold goes away. It's been going for months. It's driving me crazy. It's saying Opus format. So despite doing that, it's still ignoring us. So I'm just going to have an extra step where I convert it into the audio format I want, which is kind of frustrating here, but we'll go over to here and standard wave format and then segment it. So, okay, so we'll go do this. And then we will pull, convert. Okay, so we'll go do this. We can't, the YL, was it YL? YT DLP refuses to use encoding that we want. Like, I have a feeling this is using FFmpeg underneath, so I'm surprised, like, maybe we can, but I almost feel like I could put that there and I would expect that to come out there. That could be an experiment that we could try, but I'm not going to do it. So we'll go ahead and we will use this now, I guess. And I'm going to convert this over. Okay, so now supposedly it is in the other format over here. I wonder if it actually gives us the details now if we go back over to here. And because if that's metadata and it has to be written there, it's not going to tell us. So what's really nice is, why is it saying stereo? I want it to be mono. And it's 48 kilohertz instead of 16. Why is it completely different from what I want? Okay, so I want this to be 24. Okay, so we'll put this, I'm pretty certain that this is FFmpeg underneath. I want the sample format to be this, right? I want there to be one channel, there we go. And yeah, the bit rate, I want this to be this. So I can be very explicit of what I want. This is what I want, and I want what I want. It's interesting, like 48 hertz is higher, so you think that would be a better standard. And maybe it is, and I'm dumb, right? But I just know that when I used OpenWhisper, I have a file format that I know that works. And it would take a little bit more experiment to find out. We can always change this stuff later on and run it again. But right now, I just wanted to get it to work, right? So go ahead and we'll try this again. And conversion failed. Oh, it's not supported. We can't do 32. Oh. Is there another format we can do? This doesn't work for 32. Is there another standard wave format? Oh, it's literally 16. Okay. It's right in the name. That's pretty clear. So we'll go ahead and we'll switch it out. I remember like when I was doing this stuff a lot more, I used to know all this. It's really hard to keep everything in your head, but I used to know how all this audio stuff worked, but it does require a lot of writing out and remembering. So now we have in this other format, it seems like, I'm actually not using the highest quality if I'm only using 24 hertz instead of 48. But whatever, I know it works, and I'm just gonna make sure I use that format. So now we should have the format we want. I don't know if it actually deleted it out, so I'm gonna run it one more time. So go ahead and do this again. Yeah, it didn't overwrite it. We'll go run this again. We'll go over to here. We'll check our format here. Okay. And in here, we'll go to details and 76. Okay, so now it's everything. But I guess the sample rate could be higher. It could be 48 kilohertz, but I don't know. We can change that after the fact, I suppose. But right now I'm gonna stick with 24 with 32-bit. 32-bit's obviously larger. 24 is not the same high, the range of data that we want. The bit rate is nice and high, so that's really good. We'll go back over to here, and I don't expect it to work, but we'll run it again, okay? So run it again, and we'll see what happens this time around. It probably will have the same results. It'll abort. So it boarded again, and I keep thinking it's running out of resources, and that's why it's doing that. There's probably some way for us to check, but I'm going to just focus on doing this chunking now that we have it in a format that we can actually work with. All right, so we'll try this again here. Hit enter. Oh my goodness, what is it talking about? Oh, you know what? We're not using the newer one here. Standard. There we go. Let's try this again. We'll run that again. And now it's chunked it into sections here. There we go. And so now what we can do is we can test this on a smaller chunk. So here we're going to do chunks. Yeah, that's right. And I'm just going to do 0, 0, 0. Well, I don't want to do 0, 0, 0. Let's go play 04.
と、お母さんです。ここはどこですか?
Here's a problem though. If we are chunking it this way, how does it know to pick up the audio in the correct spot? Right? Because it's not a natural place where it cuts off and it's a sentence. So that's where we might run into a challenge, right? But I'm going to try it anyway because I'm just curious to see what the results are. Because we have the original transcription, and if we generally know the spacing and stuff, we could probably figure it out this way. Let's go ahead and take a look here. And yeah, you know what? If it can do output, I'd like to do that, please. I don't think it takes a flag like that, but we'll try anyway. And so this one's a lot smaller, right? So this one should give us less issues. All right, it's really interesting, like the challenges of working with larger files. We also have a larger video from Hiromi Ito, so it'd be nice to in a video following this try to tackle that, right? So we're getting a boarded dump core. I'm not sure why. So here has been disabled. Maybe I need to read what's going on here. That's interesting. So it's not working. These are 30 chunks. I want to go ahead and just, as a sanity check, go back to my one that I know that works, right? So we go here and we'll go back a layer. That's not what I wanted to do. We will go into here, README. Does this look the same as my other one, or did it just not make it the same? Let's go back over to ours over here. README. Yeah, I don't think. Oh yeah, this is not even running it. This is running it on my local machine. That's why I'm having problems. We're not even running it in Docker. Via Docker, right? Okay, so now. Maybe we don't need to chunk it at all. And we don't even need to do WhisperX install. That was completely useless. So what I want to do here is we have output format JSON converted. Okay, but how does it know what file it's loading? Let's go back to the other one here for a second. README. Where's our Docker? Here it is. Oh, it is literally the file specification. Okay. So what we're going to do before we use the chunk data, because we're going to have problems with the chunk data now that I realize that one issue there. We'll go here and we'll say output. It's not that. We'll just use standard. Like, would Opus be a problem for it? I don't know, but we're going to use the standard one because we know we converted it over. Comic learn standard. So hopefully I have the directory correct here. Yeah, we don't need that there. No, just ignore that. It's being very aggressive, making suggestions it doesn't need. And so now we are spinning up this one here. This might require different levels of resources. Okay. But this one will have less issues with it, I think. That was way too fast. Error opening output chunks. Oh, it's trying to put chunks in there. Let's take out the chunks part here. It's just this. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. I'm not sure, like the larger the file is, the more, I don't know. We'll take a look. Okay, so it's utilizing my GPUs. What the heck? I told it. Output chunks. Okay, we'll copy this again. It's just, I can't. Output, okay, so this one does not have the chunks in the directory. Now we'll run it, and we'll see what happens here. We'll give it a moment. Nice. Okay, so it's outputting it. Is it actually putting it anywhere though? I mean, it should. Yeah, it says JSON format, right? Okay, there we go. Wow. Wow. Okay. So I guess the question is like, would chunking still be a benefit? Because the more you chunk it, I feel like the model should make less mistakes. That's like a guess here. But now we have our output of all these words, right? But the next question is, you know, we have this audio here, right? Can we match it up with the original transcription? And this text here is it longer than this? It must be longer than that, right? I'm not sure why it's not showing all of it. I can't tell if it just only did this amount of text, if it actually did the whole sample. I guess the way we'd be able to tell is based on these time codes here. Is there like a nice way to format pretty JSON? Let's go over here. Extensions, pretty JSON. JSON formatter. What's it? Okay, let's try it. Control-Shift-P, format document. Okay. So go back over to here. Control-Shift-P, format document. Oh, we could have. All right, well, let's just use pretty formatter. There we go. That's nice. Never done that before. And so we have a lot of stuff that's going on here, right? So we go to the top here. There's no way that's all the text, right? And it says 0.5 to 29.937. Okay, so if we go back to the original video, where is that? It's not here. Here. How long is this video? This video is 6:58, right? But here it says 053 to 29 whatever. What does that mean? Does that actually translate over to that? And also this starting text, does this thing actually match up? Let's go find out really quickly here. So I'm going to just put the Japanese text here. Minasan konnichiwa. Kyou wa isho ni. I think it's trying to like make corrections. That looks the same to me. Hold on here. It's hard because I need to get this right on screen here for a second here. Oh, it's the same. Hold on, let's try this again. Minasan, konnichiwa. Mas. It didn't put the period there though. That's fine. It probably might not know that it's saying, I think that's, oh yeah, Minasan, it's still the same, okay. Kono. Yeah, so it is working. But, the question is like, how far does this go, or does it stop at a certain point, right? So if I go here, looking at this audio, how long is the video? $30 long. That sounds like the segment that I used earlier. Like that sounds like the first segment of 30 seconds, right? So we go back over to here. How long is this one? 6 minutes. Okay. So let's go over to WhisperX. Maybe it can only do 30 seconds at a time, which is fine, WhisperX. One way that we could fix the problem, if like we had to chunk it, is we'd have to just give it a little bit more, like have some overlapping stuff with it, right? How many seconds can it handle? For increased time accuracy at the cost of GPUs, use bigger models. Alignment may be helpful to label the transcript with the speaker IDs. Okay. So they're doing 49 seconds, which is impressive. Segments. So here, that's what comes back, right? Reduce batch size. So maybe there's like a way to batch. Batched inference. When I say batch, that's not what I mean. I mean like, how do you do an entire file? Oh, maybe it's like doing multiples at the same time. Batch size. Let's check the white paper here. The accurate text format. For the application to long audio video via buffer transcription prohibits batch interface to. So large-scale weakly supervised speech recognition models such as Whisper have demonstrated impressive results on speech recognition across whatever. However, the predicted timestamps correspond to each utterance are prone to inaccuracies in word-level timestamps. They're talking about the original Whisper. Further, the application to long audio via buffer transcription prohibits batch inference due to their sequential nature. To overcome the aforementioned challenges, we present WhisperX, a time-accurate speech recognition system with word-level timestamps utilizing voice activity detection. In doing so, we demonstrate the state-of-the-art performance. I'm going to switch to standing desk here. My butt's killing me here. Let's move to standing. So, in theory, it sounds like they're proposing that they can do large files and batch them. How they do that, I'm not sure. We could ask Claude. I just don't trust these LLMs giving me an honest answer of how to configure it. We are now standing here. So to overcome the aforementioned challenges, we present WhisperX, a time-accurate speech recognition system. In doing so, we demonstrate state-of-the-art performance on long-form transcriptions, and word segmentation. Okay, so specifically, they're saying they can do long-form. Okay, how do you do long-form then? All right, so we'll go say like WhisperX long audio. How do you describe a long audio file? Let's see here. Chunking is done automatically. I have a 30-minute MP3 and I would like to transcribe it. Chunking is done automatically. Cool. Then you can loop over the directory. I wouldn't that mess things up? I guess if it's like letter, but what happens like if you're in the middle of an utterance? So I would think that chunking But anyway, they're suggesting that it automatically happens. And I'm certain that if I could get it working locally, but the problem is that it's really hard to configure my machine because I need CUDA 8 and all these specific versions, and so we're using that Docker container. So I want to see if they have an example, because we have Docker WhisperX. This is what I'm using. And so the image formatted is Whisper. Okay. Accepts Lang and Whisper portal here, Lang and Whisper model. You know, but my question, it's starting to warm up here, so I can take off the snowsuit. But like, it doesn't say, it's only stopping at 30 seconds. And so this is the challenge, is like, yes, it can do long files, but how? So that is what we're trying to figure out next. Like, how are we going to get past that 30-second mark? Because that's not going to work for us, right? We need all 6 minutes. Let's go back over to Windsurf here. So obviously we have that file. Output format JSON. Do we really only get the one file? Yeah, that's all we get. What can we do here? Let's go back over to WhisperX. And in here, we have the setup, right? We go into setup.py. There's nothing exciting in here. Let's go into WhisperX. Well, we're in WhisperX right now. I meant to go to Docker WhisperX, sorry. Because that's what we're actually utilizing first. Docker WhisperX. And here we have the Docker file, and its entry point is what? Its entry point is WhisperX, right? So we'll go back over to here. I should be able to take any parameters that the other one says. So like using WhisperX, it says it can do long files. How do we do that? Do we have to in the CLI command? Adjust based on your GPU memory, lower for low memory. So here specifies to save, sorry. If you need word level timestamps, you don't need to add any special flags to enable it by default. So I gave it a long audio file, and all I got back was 30 seconds, but I'm supposed to have 6 minutes of JSON shown in the JSON file. And let's see what suggestions it has. It is. I don't need to do that to find out. Try running WhisperX with explicitly chunking of 30 seconds with chunk size set to maximum. So, yeah, and I'm not sure if those are actual options, but we'll go ahead and we'll grab that. It's interesting that you can, I'm not sure what the batch does, but you can batch it to make it perform a little better. We'll go back over to our README here. And I think that, yeah, you put them here after that hyphen hyphen. We'll go ahead and we'll delete out this one here. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and try this. Let's see if it takes those parameters. Yeah, there you go. Unrecognized things here. So what options do we actually have for WhisperX? We have... The other thing is we're also not specifying that it's Japanese, which, I mean, we are using the Japanese model, so I think it would already know that. But while we're here, we might as well be very explicit. Where's Japanese? Yeah, we just put that. So we'll put here and we'll put Japanese so that it just knows. And then it doesn't have to like guess about it. Where are other options that we have here? We have align model, chunk size. Do we have, it doesn't have max chunk size. So we'll go ahead and we'll take that out because it doesn't know what max chunk size is. Highlight words. I don't know what highlight words is supposed to do. We're already kind of figuring out the words here. No speech threshold. I wonder if that's a limit that we might have on this. I'm going to just go tell, like, here are... It says it has. And I wonder if it'll pick up on anything here. The set size is 300 seconds, 5 minutes, which should be large enough for a 6-minute file. If you're experiencing that issue, we'll do this. We'll try the 30-second chunking first. I like how it went like back to the other one here. We'll type in clear here. We'll run this again. And we'll see what happens now. So it is going to like run each of those chunks individually. If that still doesn't work, we should really check the size of the length of the file. Maybe it only thinks there is 30 seconds, even though there is 6 minutes. Right? So here it is transcribing. The time looks a lot larger here, right? Yeah, 29, 58. Here's it doing its chunks, right? We'll go here. So I think it's working. Okay, so, you know, I can see that it is chunking in 30, but it only outputs the first JSON file. And I'm going to go back over and just show, like, this is what I'm using here. So I think it is actually working. We might not even have to chunk it, because it might already be chunking at 30 seconds. But we'll go over back here, see? Maybe there's a reason for that. To ensure the entire file and outputs everything correctly here. I don't think... Oh, here it has an output directory. Is that even an option we have, output directory? I don't know why it thinks that's an option, but we'll go ahead and we'll run it, because if that works, then who cares, right? We'll type in clear here. But maybe originally it was chunking at 30-second intervals. We'll go ahead and give this a moment. See if it throws an error. No errors so far. And we will wrap this here, terminal. Word wrap. We definitely have more, but it's now just segments, right? So that's not very useful to us. I'm gonna go back over to here for a second. Let's go take a look at the alternate one. Like, what's no align mean? We didn't have that before, right? And let's go back and take a look at what I pasted into here as our options. Okay, but now I'm not getting word by word. So if we go back over to here, I see. So this actually is what it is doing. Okay, but I'm not getting word by word. Okay, so it looks like I get the transcription, but it's not JSON word by word. I don't want several files. I just want the JSON. To get more details, I'm going to go back over to here for a second. We'll type in WhisperX. Because if we just hit that, we should get help. Right? There we go. And so let's carefully look and see if there's anything that we're missing here. We have batch size. We set that already. Compute type, verbose. What if we took off batch size? Because the other thing that we figured out was, did we figure something out about that? Actually, this one here, the one that we just ran here, this one doesn't have batch size in it. Or chunk size, let's just say chunk size. Let's go back over to here. Just would stop doing that. And I'm just going to format this one kind of the same. V1, V2, attempt 1, attempt 2. I just wanted to stop highlighting, trying to get rid of it. It's really annoying when it does that. So I'll go here, and here, and here. So the only difference is like this one has no align. I don't know what align is. Batch size, output format. So we have all that is here, but we don't want that. Output directory, we're now specifying that. I don't know what align is. So I would like to take that out of here because I don't know what that is doing. Probably not doing anything. Minimum speakers. We might also want to specify how many speakers there are. Temperature. I don't know what highlight words does. Probably like you'd specify what words you want to be highlighted and then it would find those words, I guess. So, I mean, we can go here. The only thing we don't have here is chunk, so let's bring this in again. I think it already does that. I'm going to run it again. I know this seems very futile, but I'm going to go ahead and try that again. So these are all our segments, which are junk to us right now. And I'm going to go ahead and try this again. I took out the no align, and I also put in the output. Now we have the output directory here. Why is it app output? Is that even going to work if it says app output? Zero to 29. Still, it's only 30 seconds. This is not enough. I need the whole thing, right? There's no other segments, right? It's not like the segments are hidden in here somewhere. Segments. Word segments, segments. Let's format this again. Let's just make sure that it really isn't contained in here, because this is a pretty darn long file, right? Because we only have this many characters. So if it really is like this is the last one, this would be like the last character we would see, right? Maybe this does actually have it all. Let's go down here. It does repeat the segments twice. I don't know why it does that. It doesn't know that they're not words. I think like if there's another one, you would get both sections here. We'll go here till we pass word segments here. Here. Okay, and so what I want to do, maybe it is in here. Maybe I'm just like not realizing it. But we'll take this out here because this is a pretty darn long file, right? And here it says 418328. You know what? I think we actually are getting the whole thing here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we are getting the whole thing. Okay. So this entire time I was just mistaken. There's multiple sections in here. Okay. So it actually does do the whole thing. Cool. Okay. Well, that's good. That really saves us the trouble. I was getting really confused here, but it's showing the first 30 seconds. And then this text here. So if I type in text, okay. So there it's chunking every 30 seconds. It was already originally doing that. Interesting. Does it get the whole video? Looks like it. 415, 418. I don't know because there's a bit of a translation of the math. So like here, this video is 6 minutes long, right? So, but if you say 418 divided by 60, you get 6.9. And so this video is 6.58. And so I believe that this does cover the length of it. So now we're getting the output of the audio file. And so now the next question is like, how do we match up the transcription to the original one? The challenge with this is that it's not grouping words in a way that is useful for us, right? And also, it can interpret, we know this from using Whisper, that it can output Romaji, it can output the wrong kanji or katakana instead of hiragana or vice versa. But the point is that we have our source file that we can work with here, the original one, which is here. So this is our original one here, right? So now what I need is I need a way to make sure that the output of this matches the output of the other one, right? That's what I want. And I need to create that end file. So I'm going to make a new prompt here. And, you know, maybe I could just tell it what I want. I'm just going to go over to Claude and just have it do it for me. So we can go over here. I'm all out of my windsurf credits, so I'm slumming it. I have a transcription file which provides accurate transcription of the words represented. Okay, and then we'll go back over to windsurf here. All right, I have, and we'll go over to this one. I have a transcription outputted by WhisperX, which provides character by character time codes. Its transcription may be incorrect. E.g., it gets the sound right, but produces the wrong character. Okay. What I need is a final JSON file that provides us the words, provides us time codes word by word for Japanese. I should probably say this is chunked in 30 seconds. This JSON file is chunked in about 30 seconds. Audio per, you are seeing one chunk here. Okay. So what I need is a file JSON that provides, what I need is a final file that has the correct transcriptions with the correct transcriptions, sourcing it from the original with word by word time codes so that I can as a JSON file. Okay. I want to use an LLM like OpenAI or to do this? Can we implement this solution? Okay, so let's see what it comes up with here. Parse the accurate transcription into words and phrases. Okay, stop. The way you should stop. The LLM should be doing the parsing, not sequence matcher. Okay. The reason I don't want to rely, like there are a lot of tools for analyzing it, it's because LLMs are way better at figuring it out than these things here. Okay, so that's what I really wanted to do here. So here it's coming up with a prototype here of what we can work with. It's using GPT-4, which is really freaking old. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's really annoying. But now we have something to start with here. It's still working, so we're going to let it run for a bit till it gets to the end. All right, so it's produced something. Let's enhance our solution with a more robust implementation. It's doing something. So let's go ahead and we'll grab this code here. We'll see what it is. So we're not having windsurf. I'm out for a bit here, but we'll go ahead and we will make a new file here. This will be our agent dot or formatter.py. I don't know what we want to call this here. We'll go ahead and paste it in. Let's see what kind of junk code we got. So we go all the way to the top here. Well, there's a lot going on here. We have batch processor for alignment WhisperX, split accurate transcription. So split a current transcription into chunks based on whisper segments. I don't understand. Doesn't it already do that? Get all whisper chunk files sorted by the name. There's no... all the chunks are in a single file, so I don't think it understands. No, I'm going to go back to this here. There's only a single JSON file. All the chunks are within the same JSON file. Okay. Do you understand, buddy? Uh-huh. Okay, we'll let it rewrite it. It's trying. I think they also said, like, if I use, what is it here? Go over to, I don't really use it, but I think DeepSeek, if we switch models, but that doesn't go, it says here, we go here, that one's free, but it goes to V3. Like, does V3 go to, is it literally the V3 service? Because that can't be good. I know I have GPT-4 4.5 access, so I could also utilize that. I'm going to hit stop here. I'm not sure what it's trying to do over here from last time. It might not know, because if I do an update, it might not know that I'm out of credits. I might actually just kind of work with it still here. If I make a new window. It's not saying I can't use it. Okay, well, that might be a bug with Windsurf, but I think I might still have access, even though I shouldn't. And so I'm going to go here. do I really want to work with this big piece of junk code, or do I want to just start from scratch? I'm going to go bring this back over into Windsurf. We're going to go back into our formatter. I'm going to go ahead and replace all of the stuff here. We need to walk through the code and see what's going on here. So what do we got? We have, well, let's take a look at the usage first. So here it says accurate. So path to accurate transcript file, WhisperX, path to the WhisperX JSON file, output, save the output, model GPT-4o. That's actually a modern one, so that looks good. So we'll go, I just want a usage example. So usage example. Come on. Give me a usage example in the comments. See if it will do that for me. No, 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 look. Look. No, look here, here, formatter, .py. Look here. And so here we're getting one, there we go, we'll give that a copy here. I mean, maybe it already has one here. Let's take a look. Here we have OGLearn. Yeah, it is pulling the stuff that I want, WhisperX. That's the file there. And then the output. Now, are these outputted in those directories? I don't think so. Yep. So the idea is that this should align it. Now, I mean, we could just run it and see if it works, but we're going to be using ChatGPT or something. So I'm just taking a look here at its implementation. So align transcript with LLM. So OpenAI's LLM to align accurate transcriptions with WhisperX timecodes. One thing is that we're not utilizing structured JSON. So that might be something we might want, but let's go take a look here. So we have this, extract full original text from WhisperX for context. Okay, goes through, grabs the segments. We have our text. For segment in Whisper, it's going through each word, which is correct. And it has char, start, end, score. That looks good too, right? I like how it's setting the score to, or if it doesn't exist, it'll set the score to 1. So you are a specialized Japanese language alignment system. Your task is to match accurate Japanese transcriptions with the corresponding time codes for WhisperX. Focus on phonetic matching rather than character matching, as WhisperX may have correct sounds but wrong characters. Always output valid JSON with no additional text. I need to align accurate transcriptions with time codes. With a less accurate transcription generated, less accurate transcription with this. I need to align an accurate Japanese translation without time codes. From a less accurate transcription with accurate time codes generated by WhisperX. So this is the correct text. This may contain errors in character translation, but has the correct sounds and time codes, right? Character level timing data. So from WhisperX, we have the first 100 characters. The full character data, characters will have similar structures. So for each line in the accurate transcription, find the corresponding characters in the Whisper data, create an alignment that preserves the accurate thing, output in this format. Match each line in the accurate transcription to below, only output a valid JSON object into segments. It's not using, it's doing this, which is, we can do that. That's like a really old way of doing it. But there is a beta version that is a lot more accurate, but we might just try it this way anyway, just to see what happens. Here it validates the output, because it could put bad things in here, only output valid, whatever. And so the code looks fine here. So all I need to get this to work is I need to, well, I don't know if it'll work, but we'll run it, right, to see what happens. Take out that line, we don't need that there. But we need to import python.dmv, .env, and then we'll say load. And we do need to make a requirements.txt. So we'll go here, we'll make a new requirements.txt. We used Whisper or OpenAI quite a bit. We'll go into the mud one, which you've never seen the video on because I had so many problems with it. Not that, but me losing the video and me making mistakes here. And I have an open API key here, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to have to generate a new key. I can't use this one. But I'm going to go over to here, and we're going to make a new one, .env here. We'll paste in just that part there. We'll get the key in just a moment. I'm going to go down below, and I'm looking for the requirements.txt here. And so I need these two here. While I'm here, I'm just to make sure that it's just using .env. .env, it doesn't even show it here. Which is fine. I know that that's probably how it's supposed to work. So we'll go ahead and go back over to here. We'll go ahead and paste it here. And I'm going to do a pip install -r requirements.txt. I do not like Python, but I'm good at it. So, well, for this bootcamp, I'm good enough. So it'll be fine. So it's going to go ahead and install that stuff. While that is installing, I'm going to make my way over to, what do you call it? OpenAI. And I have my key. I apparently have to log in. Log me in. Log me in. Let's click that Google login. Makes my life super easy. We will wait for this here. And I'll go into manage projects. API keys. So you see I have this one. So I was using it for onking and just revoke this one. Sample examples. I don't remember when I last used these, so I'm just clearing them out. Even this one, I'm going to clear out all my keys. We'll make a new one here. This is going to be for CIJs, just so I don't forget what it's for. Read-only access. It doesn't need anything else. Basic. Create. Sorry. We'll copy that key. We'll go back over to Windsurf. We'll go into the .env here. We'll paste it in. We'll save it. And I don't need that, but now we can actually run it. Remember, we're waiting for the requirements to install. I'm assuming they installed. We'll go back to our formatter. And so down here, we should have the example that we want to run. So we'll go here. Obviously, I can't keep that there. We're going to just cut this out of here. We'll go back into our README here, and I'll paste it here. Hopefully that works. I mean, I didn't completely read the code, so if it didn't work, I'm not going to get upset. Like, obviously, there's more to it than what we're doing. We'll go ahead and we'll copy this over here. We'll paste it in. We'll hit enter. We'll see what happens. And right away, .env doesn't like it. Of course it doesn't. Let me find one where we use a .env. Maybe not this one. OPA comps, not this one. Maybe this one. Requirements. No, I mean, I remember using it so many times. Nope, that's the SERP API. Come on. Here's a python.env. Where is it? It's just import.env, and it's just load.env. Okay, let's go back over to here, into our formatter. Maybe I didn't name it right. Maybe I just called it .load. Yeah, that's the problem. Oh, now you want to update it. Okay, we'll go ahead. We'll try this again. You saw there was 15 segments. What? No, it didn't work that, but you have insufficient permissions for this operation. Missing model request. Check that you have the correct role in your organization. I mean, to be fair, I made it a read-only key. I don't normally do that. Let me go, can I edit the permissions on this? I can. Okay, we'll try this again. I don't think there's any output, though. These chunks are, Useless, we don't need these chunks. That step was completely useless. We'll go ahead and hit up. And here it says 401, you have insufficient permissions for this operation, missing model request. Check that you have the correct role in your organization's reader-writer. If you're using a restricted API key that is unnecessarily scoped, I'm going to go regenerate a new key because I don't want to wait around for this key to figure out its permissions. It clearly is junk, so we'll go ahead and clear it out. We'll make a new key, say CIJA, and we'll give it all permissions under basic. I'm going to copy the key. We're going to go back over to here, and I'm going to go back into my .env here. We have a new key, so we'll paste that in here. There we go. We'll run this again. I also have credits on Claude. I just keep forgetting to go back there. It's a pain. OpenAI is just so much easier to use, despite it not being as powerful as Claude in all cases. It seems like it's doing something. The only thing is we can't see what it's doing because it doesn't provide good logging. But at least it's processing. So while that's going, let's take a look at our formatter. It's just processing. So I'm going to switch this over back to 3.7. So this for formatter. Can we add more logging because I can't see if it's processing. Oh, it did just finish. It might be nice to have a bit more logging here. If it just worked, that'd be great. I can't imagine it just works the first try, but we'll go here. And it's not doing it word by word, right? So it definitely did something. But it's not word by word. So, and also didn't even get the whole thing. Processing data with 15 segments, align 65 segments. So there's a few things that don't make sense here. Like, let's go over to here for a second. So we'll go over to our formatter. Okay, so a few problems with our formatter. It said there were 15 segments, but aligned 65. The outputted file doesn't seem to contain the entire transcription. Like, how do we know it did a good job? It's not doing it word by word. It's doing its as asked. Okay, so we'll go ahead and see what it can change there. Hopefully it doesn't mess up our code. Over here. So to fix this, ensure we're getting proper word by word, we need to modify the prompt to explicitly request word by word alignment. Okay, so let's do that first. Request, I'll focus on prompt sections for 52 to 60. This updated prompt explicitly instructs it to do so. Okay, I don't know what it's trying to say here because we have this. Oh, maybe it's It broke it up for some reason. I need to line an accurate Japanese transcription time codes for a less accurate transcription with accurate time codes by WhisperX. Important. A word-by-word alignment. Do not combine or split segments arbitrarily. Each word or natural phrase in the accurate transcription should be matched with its corresponding time code from the Whisper data. So we'll go ahead and we'll copy this. So this is a thing that it put in here. Okay. That hasn't changed. The okay, so now here okay, so we'll copy this, we'll place this, I guess. Okay, and so now we've changed the prompt. And even though we couldn't see what was going on there, it's totally fine. I don't care. We'll just run it again. Before I do that, I want to make sure that I delete the file out here. It's this aligned one. And so what I'm hoping that I'll get is something that's a little bit more accurate to what I actually want. We'll give this a moment, okay? All right, let's go take a look and see the output of file. I don't know, it keeps saying 65, which is kind of annoying. It's still doing that. So, and I know this is kind of an issue with Claude, or not Claude, but, oh, GPT Turbo 4? No, don't tell me we're using that. Are we using that literally? Is that what we've been using? No wonder it's junk. Let's go up here. Turbo 4. GPT 4. Can't use GPT. We'll switch it to a smarter model. That GPT, yeah, it can't do nothing. We'll try this again here. Now we're on a new model, so it should use 4.0. Silly, silly, silly. Over here it says 4.0. So which is it? Is it that or that? Like, I can't tell. It's kind of frustrating. The default is GPT 4.0. Okay, so it should be using that then. Just giving this a moment here. All right, it's back with segments. It's probably still wrong. Yeah, it's still wrong. So it's not like there's no question in my mind that this can be accomplished. But we'd have to continue to work on this formatter to get it to work. I find that when you're using OpenAI specifically, like we might swap this out for Claude and it might work just perfectly. But is that the more you give to OpenAI, like GPT 4.0, the less likely it will break it down correctly, is what I find. So here's where I'd like to swap it out for Claude. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to give this whole thing here. And I'm going to go back over to Claude. So I do have Claude tokens. I might as well use them and give it a try here. Okay, so I'll go here. Can you change this script to use Claude instead of OpenAI. Because I think Claude 3.7 will provide better chunking. And if we want GPT-4o to do it, we'd have to just give it smaller chunks. And we could do that, but the problem is like, yeah, there's problems. Or the other thing is what we could do is we could tell it like, I don't know. There's different ways we can tackle this, but I'm going to just try and convert this over to Claude first and see if that just kind of fixes it in a more brute force way. But there are definitely ways that we can make this work. Another thing that we could do is we could have it so temporarily, like as it's fixing words, it's removing it from the JSON file so that it doesn't have to keep looking at the same file and getting confused. And so you're kind of paring it down as you go through it, or like stepping through the file each. Here it supposedly has a new one, but yeah, maybe it's just the code's not very good. And this is where we would have to write it out ourselves. And so I want to see, did this swap it out for Claude now? Claude. Oh, good, it's using 3.7. And we need to put in our Anthropic key ID. So I haven't been using it much, but let's go ahead and see if a different model performs a lot better. And I'm going to go over to my Anthropic account. So say Anthropic API. And I should have loaded up credits. Let's go ahead and use some of those credits. We'll log in here. I believe I just logged in this way. Whole boot camp, and first time I'm actually using my Claude keys. But you know, again, OpenAI is just super easy to use, and that's kind of the reason why. If I use a local model, I suppose that, and there's no reason we couldn't, but if I used a local LLM, I could break it up as small as I want because then I don't care about performance. Like consumption of credits. But again, just trying to log into the Claude interface here. Come on, let me in. Let me in, Claude. Give me my credits, Claude. I paid for those credits. I want to use those garbage credits. Expensive Anthropic. So I'm in here, and I should have credits. Where are we at? Where are we here? API keys. Billing. $5. I got $5 on here that I put down for below. Let's see if we blow through those $5 here in a second. I don't expect it to cost $5. This is going to be CIJ key. We'll go ahead and create that. We'll copy the key over here. I'm going to go back over to here, and we will paste that key in here. So now we have the Anthropic key in here. Let's go ahead and see if we can run the other one. I'm going to assume it's the same parameters. The only difference here is that this one's going to be Claude, like that. Didn't do anything. We'll go over to our README here. And I'm just going to go down like this. Yeah, put Claude in here like this. We'll copy this again. We'll try this again. Paste it in. Nothing. What's going on? Is this not working? Just give it a print here. Print hello. What's going on here? Why is this not working? We'll try this again. Oh, right. We didn't update our requirements.txt. Oops. We'll go ahead. We'll do a pip install -r requirements txt. We'll get Anthropic installed. Now we'll go ahead and we'll run this. And we'll see how it goes. Not sure how much cost it will cost us here. I know what it's like to run stuff on. There's like a way for us to monitor that in here. I don't even know how we would do that. No idea. How do we monitor it in here? Cost maybe here. When would we see the cost? That's another question. We'll wait till this is done, okay? It's now done. I want to go back over to here. I want to see what my cost was. Can I see it yet? No, I cannot. Profile. I cannot see what my cost is. That's silly. And they want to beat out OpenAI, surprisingly. Okay, so we'll go over to here. This is output comment learned align. I can't tell if it actually did that or not. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to run it again, and we'll see what happens. All right, so we'll go over to here, take a look at the aligned output. Still not right. That's not what I want. Okay, but you know what? Maybe it's matching it per line. So we go back over to here to our original. One second here. All right, yeah. So, my thought is maybe what it's trying to do, right? It's technically matching them based on the segments. But if we go back to the original one, maybe this isn't a Claude issue. Maybe this is just a prompting issue. Or not Claude, an OpenAI issue. But we go over to our original one, which is the OG, right? And it technically is matching this up, but this is per sentence, right? So, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if that matches up. It probably does, but this is not what we want. We want word by word. So it really comes down to that original prompt document. I think that's our problem. It could also be the way it iterates through it, but there's two things. It's either the prompt document and or the process to which it parses it, right? So let's go back over here, and we're going to have to do a really terrible thing. We're going to actually have to read our code. So that's our challenge here. But we'll go back over to OpenAI because I think I have more credits on that one, and I don't want to blast through all my Claude ones. But we can use both here. But let's take a look here and see what's going on. Let's just really understand our code. There's actually not a lot going on in here. It just looks very verbose. So we have process transcript. So process the transcript files and align them. So here it says, open the accurate file, open the Whisper file, align them, then save the outputs. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. We have create fallback alignment. I'm not sure what we have this. Use a failback alignment method with estimate timings. So there might be a reason for this. I'm not sure. Oh, if it fails, return a basic failback with estimated timings. Oh, okay. And then we just basically have our main one here. All right, so to make this a bit easier, I'm going to make a folder called prompts because I can't see what I'm doing this way here. And we'll have our system prompt, .txt. So again, just making this a little bit easier to manage. Because, if it's just format, like if these are a little bit easier to work with, then I'm going to have an easier time with this. And so we'll just say like load prompt file from prompts.system message prompt. There we go. And so now we've loaded it there. And then we have create the main prompt. We do have a lot going on in this one here. So I'd say like, but it also has to do, use a template file so we can inject our values into this prompt, right? Change it for me. Okay, so like, I'm not sure what we need to do for that, but we'll go back over to here. I was hoping it would just do the code for me here. We'll just actually go ask Anthropic. Let's just say here, like, I need to pass or interpolate values into this like a template. Is there a standard template file, e.g. like herb or something you can do here? And I'm trying to figure out for Python. String templates. So here, okay, here we go. We'll go over to here. And we have this. So we have the template here, user prompt, wherever that is. That looks the same, but we'll just in case it changed, I'm going to replace it. No, it's the same. And then what we do is we can replace it like this. Like this, okay. Okay. And now what I can do, so I can go over to our user prompt. I'm not sure if it is the user prompt, but we'll call it user prompt anyway. TXT. And we can now grab all of this. Cut, paste, like that. And let's go back over here. I'm not sure if it was like saying $sign on there. In here. String template. Yeah, so we'll bring this over here, and it's saying string template in here. Where was that? Template, right? So to get this to work, we're going to have to put this here, and this here, and this here. The only thing is that it should dump it before it goes to here. So this here is the character data. So we need to cut this out and paste this here. Character data formatted. Like that. And then, oh no, it's doing it right here, right? Okay. So maybe it means, was that the same thing here? It's just sampling. I'm not sure why it's only sampling some of it. We'll go ahead and we'll put the sample in here like this. Oops. Yeah, it already did it. There we go, length. And so now we have our prompt document. So this should still work. But let's go take a look at what it's actually doing, because clearly it's not doing what we want. So go over here, let's read. I needed a lot. I'm going to get word wrap on this thing. So now I can really clearly what I'm seeing. I need alignment on accurate Japanese translation without time codes from a less accurate transcription with accurate time codes generated by Whisper. I need word by word alignment. Do not combine or split. I need accurate Japanese transcriptions. Okay, so let's go back to this one first. You are a specialized Japanese language alignment system. Your task is to match accurate Japanese transcription text. Focus on phonetic matching rather than exact character matching. Okay, so you are a Japanese alignment system. You have an original transcription without time codes that you have an original and accurate transcription without time codes. You also have a less accurate transcription with time codes, right? It's less accurate in that the character may not be correct, but the phonetic matching is. Could be correct. Okay? So you are specialized, to match accurate Japanese translation text with the corresponding time codes for Whisper from the Whisper output. Your task is to, so here is, you are a specialized Japanese language system. You have an original accurate time transcription without time codes. You also have a less accurate transcription with time codes, with character by character time codes. Your task is to match the accurate Japanese trans text with the corresponding time codes at a word by word level. Okay? Always output JSON with no additional text. So that's that there. So now this is the user prompt. I need to align, it already knows what it has to do. I need a word by, do not combine and split segments arbitrarily. Each word or natural phrase and the accurate should do this. So we need to provide an example, right? I think that's what will help it out here. So here's the accurate time subscription with correct text. And we can go back over this one. We can say original and accurate time without time codes. Okay, we'll go here and say it has no time codes. It is accurate and should be the source of truth. Should be it is 100% accurate. You also have a less accurate transcription with character part. It's less accurate. So maybe incorrect, right? So phonetic matching could be correct. Your task is to match accurate Japanese transcription text with the corresponding time codes at a word-by-word level. So our task is to produce a transcription file that is accurate based on the original transcription with word-by-word time codes. Okay? So we'll go over to here. So we'll say, and now we're kind of specifying you have original transcription and you also have a WhisperX transcription. Okay, so go back over here. So this is the original transcription. We don't have to tell it's accurate twice. It's going to confuse it. Then we have the, it does like backticks here, but we could just do this. We could just say original. I'd rather do that. I don't know why. I prefer that. Original. And then we'll just say whisper. Whisper. Because I don't want it to get confused here. We'll say whisper transcription, right? So we have this. Character level timing data from that. Why would we only do that amount? That makes no sense. Why do we even need that at all? The original one would have all of it in here, right? So we'll go over here and we'll take a look and we'll see what we're passing along here into it. So we have full whisper text. Oh, that's just the text for each segment. Oh, I see. And then here it's the character data. Why would we limit the amount of character data? Why wouldn't we take all of the character data? No, it wouldn't be first 100 characters. It has to be all of it. So we'll go here. It's kind of silly that they would do that. And we'll do this. Right? And so then we'll go here. Text. Character level timing data from WhisperX, okay? And we'll do timings, right? So here, the full character data has characters with similar structure. I'm not even sure why we need this. Let's just take that out because that doesn't make any sense to me. We don't even need indents. It could literally work with it without any indentation. But that's fine if that's what it wants to do. So now as your task, use the accurate transcription as a source of truth for the text. Start time for each word. Create a JSON structure that combines the accurate text with the correct time codes. Preserve the original segment structure from WhisperX as much as possible. I'll take that out. Do not add or remove segments arbitrarily. Maintain the original segment count. I'm not sure why that's there. Return JSON object as segments array with start date. So actually we'll just say like example. So match each line to corresponding Whisper data. Whisper has slightly different captures, but corrects, focus on phonetic matching rather than character matching. Japanese characters may be represented differently, but sound the same. Only output a valid thing. So here, I want to say examples. A good example. Here's a good example of JSON output. So let's go to here and let's give it one, and that will probably help it a lot by doing that. So we need to go into the first sentence, wherever that is. It is in the OG, right? So we have, maybe we'll do the second sentence because this has a little bit more going on in here, right? So we have this, right? So here we have original transcript. Original. No. Just give me the original here. Original. With this inputted original transcript, right? And then we'll go over into comic align here, so we can actually see what we're looking at. The standard is, I think it's the same thing, right? It's aligned. Oh no, the aligned is the wrong one. So here, we'll go back over to here, and so we have standard. So I need to find those characters. So we have this one, where, ooh, that actually has a lot in it. I'm looking for, where this starts. So we have Minasan, ni. So starting here. So we have this, right? This, ishoni. Over that. Looks like maybe it's a comic book or a movie, I don't know. Here, yomimasu. So we are reading here. And this is the good example. So we'll copy this and we'll paste this out. So this is the one that we have here. And we're going to have to help it out a bit. So here we have that there. And just needed to ignore. It's trying to do weird things here. Segments. And we go here. I'm going to grab this out because we need a full example for this to actually work. Maybe we don't need such a big example, but that's what I got. And so here we have original data. So just to make this a little bit easier, it's just, this is not for them, it's for me because this is too large. We'll go over to here and I'm just going to go and make this formatted a bit nicer. I can't tell because I have word wrap on. Let me just take word wrap off here. But I think that this is our problem, is just getting this prompt right. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but we'll ignore that for now. And it's just acting funny because, you know, folks, how this thing works. I think we just do this here. There we go. And then we do this. Oops. Trying to figure out how to do this quickly. Still figuring it out. Oh, you know what? It's because each of them are on their frickin' same line. That's why it keeps messing up. I could have probably just fed this to Claude and just say, hey, format it for me. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it the manual way because I'm insane. Okay, let's go here. Insane in the membrane. And so we'll go here. We'll go here. Whoops. We'll go here. Nothing wrong doing things manually. Let's give you time to think about things, okay? So we're going here. This video is almost 2.5 hours. But I want it to work, so that's why I'm doing it. I should have chunked it. I should have done that. I just didn't want to stop the video. So we'll go here. And so we can see our segments now, right? So this is, I don't care if that's valid or not. We're just trying to show them examples. So, and go here. And so this is segments, but that's not actually how it's formatted because it's actually in Word. So we go back over to here for a second and we open up our standard one here. And so it has here start, and here it might be this, right? And then we'll go here end. And then this one here is this here, right? Like that. And then we have our text. Yeah, let's fix that there. We have our text here. And what's going to happen here is this font here, right? So we have this. Because the power of examples are going to help it a lot. So now that we have this sentence here in this segment, we need to now produce, well, it says segments, which is confusing because this actually is on the interior. So this is actually supposed to come down here. And we're supposed to have this. And this is supposed to be like that. And that's supposed to be curly like this. And these are words. Words like that. And then we have this one here. There we go. That's better. Yep. Okay. So the point is that we have the segment, and we don't actually have any other words here, so I'll just go ahead and do this. And so what we're looking for, outputted final transcription. Now we want to grab this here. Call this WhisperX. WhisperX. Like if this doesn't help it, I don't know what else. But the only problem is like this is very granular. So if I make a mistake here, then it will learn from a bad example, right? So I have to be very careful how I do this. So now we have our segments here. We need to compile this final example so it makes sense. Now we have score. We don't need score. It's nice to have it so we have a general idea if it's right or wrong. But you can see like if it's low or high, it might mess things up. But we need to go. So we have start and end. So this is one. This is one. Isho ni. It depends if you want to put that together or not. I would probably put that separate. It really depends on the example you provide. And that's a word right there. So here we have our start. So we don't need this one. We don't need this. We don't need this. We do want, 1 second here, sorry. All right, so we'll go here and, well, I want the end time, right? I want the end time. I just don't want the start time here. So go here and we'll take out this one here. Okay, and so I don't need this one, this one. We do want our start time. We'll go ahead and the cut on this computer, like on Windows, is just awful. So I really don't like editing on Windows, but we'll do our best here. And so now what we have, because it says word, but it's not really a word, is it? This is just characters. So go here and we'll do this. And we'll do this. Right? So we have that there. So that's one word solved. This here is a single one. We'll leave that alone. I'm going to take out the score. I don't need score. Right? This one, I think these are two words together. So I'm going to go ahead. Looks like two words together. If it's not, then whatever. But I guess I should look it up, make sure it's a word. The second one looks like from movie, right? We'll go here to G-Show. G-Show, help me out. Is that a word? It is. Cartoons. Okay. Oh, it's manga. Okay. I don't know the kanji for manga, so I never see it often, but yeah, it makes sense. I didn't say I was good at Japanese. I just said I know enough. I know just a little bit to, well, I mean, heck, I'm using the site at the most basic level, so clearly I don't know Japanese. We'll go here and I'll just change this one over this. This will just make my life a little bit easier. And then we can bring this on over here like this. Okay. This one's fine. Again, we'll just take the score out. Anything we don't need. And we have Ishoni. I'm going to change this one over to 651. And we will take this part out. Well, we don't need that part out. We'll just take this out because we already changed it down below. We have Ishoni. And we have this. And we have 6089. Okay, we'll do this like that. And so now we have what we actually want. This is what we want as our end result. I'm just trying to fix, whoops, the indentation here. And yeah, I'll put it in, I guess, with this. Yep, that's correct. Okay, and I'll just bring this in one more level here. And so now we have our expected output. So this should be what we actually want, right? So now it has a really solid example. So here's a good example of JSON output where I have example transcript, WhisperX data, transcript, and the expected final transcript. That should be enough to help it out. Let's go back over to our actual file over here, the formatter. And what does it do when it gets the data here? So we go here and it says, extract the full original Whisper context, extract character level data. So here we have segments, words, character, start, end, score. So the thing is, like, it's going to get each segment, right? And I'm not sure what it's providing when it actually does that prompt. So that's something we might want to see while this is working through this, because I don't know if it doesn't have the same example that I have, it's going to have weird results. Character sample data. So that's not how I would do it. I would just give it the JSON. That's what I would do. So I don't really like how it's passing it. And then down below here, we have validate the segments of each thing. If the LM didn't include a segment, then do something here. I'm not really sure about that. So I want to go back up to here, and let's go back to our example for a second. Let's make it really clear we know what it is we want. So here we're providing literally the segment. And so I would say, like, this is a Whisper segment. That's really what we want to do. And how would we know if it gave it the right segment, though? Right, so that's another question is like, okay, well, sure, we're providing this and that, but how does it know to chunk it like that? When we go back to our original formatting file, right? So we go into here, we're taking a look here. It says, extract the full original text from the Whisper context. Okay, so we got that with segments. And then, look, how many times does this run? Extract the character level data, segment, and WhisperX data. Like, wouldn't it need to know the last one to get it right? System prompt, user prompt. Yeah, I feel like it would mess up because there's some issues there. But I guess the thing is, like, let's just first get it to be this format. So we have, it says accurate translation, but it's more like original translation here. Original transcript. We don't need to have like transcript. This will be WhisperX. Segment. Is it actually giving the whole thing though? Yeah, I don't want to do this. It seems silly to me. And so I call this, yeah, I don't want that. That doesn't make sense. And we'll go up to here. Full Whisper text. So let's just try to make sense of this. So we have full Whisper text. We really just need each segment. Oh, I know what it was doing. It's actually taking all of the text and making it into one big text. And then it has the segment data separately. So it is actually feeding everything into it. Okay, well, but why even do that? Why did we separate it out when we already have the segment data? I don't know why it does that. Why can't we just provide it the JSON? I don't see any benefit for doing that extraction. So what I'm going to do, yeah, I don't think any of that is worth our time. We just have Whisper data. So here, I'm just going to do Whisper data. Whisper text. I mean, they call it Whisper Whisper data here, but we'll call it Whisper data here because that's actually what they're calling it here. And they pass it in here like this as a dictionary. Why is it a dictionary? We don't even need to do that. It's just literally, we don't need to do any formatting on it. So it says JSON loads. Not there. We don't need to do anything to it. It literally is what it is. So here I would probably just say like f.read, right? Because I don't need to do anything to the structure. We're not doing that here. Unless we want to read it here, I'm just going to take this out. See, I thought it was iterating over each segment, but it's actually not doing that at all. Just to make this a little bit more consistent, I'm just going to go here and say transcript. We'll say original transcript. And then I can go here and update these. Yeah, just so like my text is a lot easier to follow here. I don't need to have a big mess here. And we'll go to the top here, wherever this is. Same thing here. Same thing here. Same thing here. Good. And then in here. Okay. Keep it simple to start with. And then if we have issues, let's make sure we go back to our system prompt. Now, obviously, we have the Claude variant still, but we'd have to do some work to bring that one back here. I'm going to say transcript. 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 I'm trying to use consistent language here so it understands what I'm saying. From the Whisper transcript. There we go. Okay. And so now we have really reworked it. You know, again, I mean, the context window, I think they can handle it. Depends on the size of the video. But like if it was a larger video, you might have to have a chunking strategy and there's a bit more work there. But now we've really, reworked that quite a bit. Will it still work? I don't know. You know, when we don't run code for a while, you know that bad things happen. We'll go over to here and I'll go back to the first one here. We'll type in clear. And let's see the results we get. I'm just looking for this here under README, I guess. Where is this here? Over here. Okay, and we want to run the formatter, the original formatter, not the Claude one. And we could even name the other one OpenAI to make it more clear. We'll go ahead and run that, see what happens. Might break. Let's find out. And here, what do we have? We have requests too large for GPT-4o in the organization. Requested input or output tokens must be reduced in order for it to successfully run. So that's probably why they were truncating the characters. But if we don't, I can just save this so I don't have to figure this out here. But if we don't, it's not supposed to save that. Make sure it doesn't save the .env. So we'll just git ignore here. Git ignore. .env. But, you know, I guess my thought here is like, in order for this to, come on, add the git ignore file. Thank you. I don't want to see. Come on, ignore it, please. I asked very nicely, you ignore that file, please. I think maybe I got to remove it first, like this. There we go, now it vanished. So, you know, my thoughts there is that it can't handle such a large file, right? And so we need to kind of chunk it. I don't know how large, it says limit is 3,000, requested is 43,000. So it almost took the whole thing, but it's just a little bit too large for it. Right, and so it explains why I was only doing the first 10 characters, right? Maybe there's a way that we can reduce the amount of stuff that's being passed in. I mean, obviously there's a bunch of scores in there that we don't need. So if we go back to the original output here, where is it? This is the wrong aligned one, standard JSON. Yeah. And so, I mean, obviously we don't need the other word segments. If we do we get like an outline if we bring this up, we do. Oh, nice. Oh, nice, 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 nice. Let's collapse it all. Expand it. So we have these 14 sections here. See, these are all the words. We have a lot of this, right? We don't need all this score stuff in here. So that's going to cut down the character length quite a bit. I'm not sure how much, but maybe it'll be enough to get rid of it. The other thing is like we have word, start, and all this stuff can be abbreviated so that we can fit this into context as much as we can. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to find in this file here. We're going to put it on regular expressions here. And I want to get rid of anything that has like this here. So we say like D plus D like that. Period. I'm going to put a backslash there. And so that should get rid of that. We also need to get rid of the comma. So we have this here, and then we have a new line, and then anything till this. Hopefully that's not too greedy. It looks like it's selecting it correctly. That's good. And so that's going to get rid of all the scores. Now you might want the scores to know how accurate it is, but for this example, I'm not worried about it. And we'll go here. I want to replace that with nothing. Okay, so that's going to greatly reduce the size of the file right there alone. There's also hidden characters in here. So a lot of the hidden characters are taking up space. Now we've formatted this so that it is, it's larger. And like all those little hidden characters add up, right? All of them add up. So we can swap that out. Another thing we do is change word start and end out of this if we really wanted to save more space. Because it's just repeating the same things. It's very consistent. So I might go here and replace. Say replace. We'll take word like this. And I'm going to replace it with just word like that. Okay, and so we'll go here and we'll replace all. All, please, all. Thank you. Same thing with start. We'll make this S. Replace all. Same thing with end. We'll make this E. Replace all. Okay, and so now we're getting a huge reduction here. The next thing is I want to get rid of the new line for a lot of these things. So here, I might just get rid of all the new lines to be honest. New line, and we'll just replace that with nothing. And that will bring it all into a single file, like single line here. So now, I'm not sure about that. Let's undo that for a second. We need to, if there's spaces behind it, let's go and get those. And if there's spaces in front of it, let's go ahead and get those. And so that's going to, look at how many characters it's matching, 4,000. Right, so now we're really cutting down, replace all. Now we're really cutting down the size of this file here. Okay, because now it's just that. I still think it's valid. And so we'll go back over to our example, right? And this is something like if we had the output, we could easily write a script to format this, so it's not that big of a deal. But we can go back to our original formatter, our prompt doc, because right now our data is not accurate based on the thing. So here we have this, and so we left words alone, but we'll go here and we'll just change word to W. Just make sure this aligns here. So this is now just going to be W, right? This start here is going to be just start. Anywhere we can save. Let's start saving. And do that. get rid of this here. And we actually got rid of the score. So we don't even need that anymore. Is there a faster way? Yes. You saw I could do regular expressions. I'm just not doing it. Not going to do it. Sometimes I don't want to think here too hard. Just got to put commas on this. There we go. Can I get more commas, please? There we go. And so now we have a huge reduction. So now it knows exactly what we're talking about. We say S and N. I think it changed those ones as well. So we need to swap those out, I believe. And so then the final one here, we can just go ahead and change this. Oh, I didn't change it. Here we go. S and N. Change out word here, word for that. There we go. And so now we have a greatly reduced example. So this is just one way that we are trying to, again, reduce it. Let's go ahead and we'll run that again. Let's see if we still can do it now that with our great reductions. If we can't, then we need a strategy to kind of fix it. But that to me, like that's kind of the prompt that we want. We could also just test this on a smaller set. Like we're trying to do the whole file, but we could delete out half the content so that we can have a better idea if it can work. But now we're just trying to tackle it at the size of the video that it is. It seems like it's working because it's not erroring out, but we'll just wait a moment here. All right, that took quite a while, but it looks like it did output something. It says segment missing required fields. Not sure what that's all about. Let's give it a refresh here. I really should have ran this on something smaller because this took freaking forever. I think it's still running. Error in alignment, segment missing required fields. I'm not sure what it means, segment. How could it miss anything? Oh, maybe it's just the output of what it's doing here. Let's go back over to here. I got to test this on a smaller sample set because this is too long. Let's going to stop this here because it's not going anywhere. Let's go over back to our formatter. And yeah, I was saying this. So it actually did do something. And I really don't care about this. I'd rather it just output the results. Can we close this out here? Right. So really all I wanted to do was it to output the results. I don't care what it was doing here. And so hold on here. Did it actually say it's saving the files here? No, results. I think it would just saved it here, but the example we're running is just too large. It's taking us forever to get something back. So let's go back over here. And I'm going to make a copy of a couple of these files. So what's the original one? The original one is... Where is it? I don't remember what it's called. I don't remember what this one is either. I don't remember anything. But what I'm looking for is those original files. So the OG's here, right? So this one's fine. There is the other one, which is the output from... This is the one that we want. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. Copy, paste. I'm going to make a much shorter one here because I think that our thing probably works now, but we'll just say short. And same thing with our comic text here. We'll copy this and paste it. And we'll go here and we'll say short. There we go. And so now what I'm going to do here is I don't want to do all of it. I want to go up to a certain point, maybe up to here. All right, so this is where, I'm just going to cut that out there. I don't want that last line, but I'm just going to go here and see what we can get. So I'm going to go back over now to, this is our short one, right? Yeah. Now I'm going to go to our other one that's short here. And I'm looking to where this ends. So, it's a little bit trickier. Because So we have the text up here, right? So I'm going to look for text at a time, text. Well, actually, this one here goes up to this. So maybe what I should do is wherever that text ends, I should end it there as well. So this one here goes up to 1930 here. Well, maybe we can include another segment because this is only one segment. That's not a lot. That's not enough text for our test here. And so this one goes up to here. That's the next one. So this one goes 1930, and then we're looking for this here. That one ends here, right? Over here. And then our next text starts here. Ni kaki, whatever, whatever. 1930 here. Okay, good. 1930 there. Chichito here, right? There. So no. Literally stops here, right? So this is exactly that right here. Okay, so let's look for the next text. And so everything after that needs to go. Okay, so we'll go here. Oops. What does it need to finish? It needs, oops. Square, and then a curly. Is that it? There we go. So now we have a much more manageable example that we can run. Let's go back over to our README, and we'll do short. And we'll do short. Okay. And so in theory, what's it? Oh, that's the, yeah, okay. And then we'll do short. So now we should have a way of running it in a much smaller example. We are not validating the format. Really what we should use is Pydantic, because Pydantic would allow us to force that output. We'd have to use something like GPT-4 Mini, which I'm not sure how well it would perform on this task. It might be fine, but I don't want to do that here right now. So I'm just going to do this and see what result we get. And so this should run a lot faster. And I'm going to pause here to let it go along here, okay? All right, so we have some output here, which is the output comic learn alignment short. We'll take a look here and see what we have. Okay. And I guess it's matching the segments. I never told it that it had to, I don't really want the segments. Did I tell it to put segments in there in the example? Let's go back and take a look here. Did I not save this file? Did I not even save the short? Did it just run it on the largest one? I mean, that's fine if it still worked. It looks like I didn't save that file, but if we go back over to the system user prompt, WhisperX. Oh yeah, we still showed segments. This is kind of pointless. That's not really what I want. I actually want it all in one thing. So here, what I'd rather have is I'd actually rather have like full text, like this. Right? But let's take a look at this. We have minasan, konnichiwa. It's not really doing it, is it? No, wait, is it? Yeah, konnichiwa, that's a fixed phrase, so that's not accurate. Kyo wa isho ni manga o yomimasu. Okay, that was the easy one. Minasan kono manga o. I mean, the ka should be its own thing, I guess, but it's not that bad. Mite koto arimasu ka? Kore wa doji? Doji no furui manga desu? So it looks like it's doing a good job here. We really have to crawl to figure it out, but the only thing is I don't want these segments like this. I don't really want that. Is the timing correct? I don't know. We'd have to do a little bit more work here, but like at least it's doing it. So this is all I have time for really. But you can see just by making this change here, it would get it out in this format, which is what I would kind of prefer. There is some prompting that we have to do here. Just give it more examples and say like, hey, if you have this word, do this and do that. Like not necessarily those words, but if it's a fixed expression, still chunk it based on words. So it just needs a few more examples, but clearly it can be done. The final test would be to run it through our thing where we have what do you call it, the in that karaoke script, this thing here. But this has to match whatever that other format is to get the result. For those who don't know, in the last video,
あなたは新しいアパートにおり、
I
朝
did
日の
this.
光
And I could do that with the video, but I would have to segment the exact part of the video that we want to replicate that on. I'd have to make sure that the whatever this script wants is formatted in the expectation, because I made a different one here. But the point is that we have technically solved this, and there's no question in my mind that this is doable and at scale. But anyway, there we go, and that's that. And so I'll see you in the next one. Okay, ciao.